The Gina and Maddie podcast.
Hamilton is returning to the Sydney Lyric Theatre next month.
Alexander Hamilton. My name is Alexander Hamilton.
Winning like 11 Tony Awards when it launched in 2015. It has gone on to critical acclaim right around the world. The Schuyler sisters, they are a big part of it. And joining us this morning is the character who plays Eliza.
I have never been the type to try and grab the spotlight. We were at a revel with some rebels on a hot night, laughing at my sister as she's dazzling the room. And you walked in and my heart went
Boom! Vidya Makan joins us on the line this morning, who plays Eliza. Hi, Vidya.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Oh, we're so excited to have you, Vidya. And we were just watching some of your social media when you got announced that you got this gig. Can you just help us relive what that must have felt like to find out you were going to star in Hamilton?
Oh my God, I burst into tears. I posted a video of me just crying. I couldn't stop crying, and I immediately called my mum. Well, actually, my family weren't picking up their phones.
Oh!
It was really, and mum was like in class or something, and I was like, I'm sorry, I know that you're busy, but you need to pick up your phone. And so she went out of class and she called me back, and I was crying and I couldn't get the words out. So she thought that there was something wrong and that she needed to help me.
Oh.
But eventually I got the word, like, I'm playing Eliza, and she was pretty stoked.
Unbelievable.
You go through so much to finally get a big call, right? It's something you dream of since you were 3, and you learn how to play the piano before you learn how to read English. Is that right? To read music and stuff. So you've been dreaming about this your whole life, and then you get the big one. How hard is it for you guys? You must go. I know I'm not in musical theatre, but I am from the music industry, and I see a lot of my friends who are in musical theatre who go through so many auditions and just get told because your hair's the wrong colour or you're not fat enough, or it's sometimes it's got nothing to do with how talented you are, why you get knocked back.
Absolutely.
So what this must have just been the actual biggest dream come true.
It truly was, and I think for like what this show represents. You know, growing up, I loved musical theatre. I never really did it as a kid, but you know, we went and saw a lot of it, and I never really saw people who looked like me on the stage. And then when I started training and, you know, was a young adult getting into the industry, things were starting to change, and this show was a big part of my life. I listened to it all the time, and it was a big inspiration for me to keep going. And so to get that call to say you're playing Eliza Hamilton in Hamilton, I think it hit on so many different levels. Not only was it an incredible, like, personal feat, but to be a part of this incredible story and what it's done for the world is just, it's an incredible honour.
Vidya, can you tell for the uninformed, just in a snapshot, what is Hamilton?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a big blend of a huge range of different types of music, hip-hop, R&B, jazz, musical theatre, that Lin-Manuel Miranda has used to tell the story of Alexander Hamilton, who was one of the founding fathers of America.
Yep.
But more than that, to me, it's a rags to riches story of a young man who came from nothing and who had a dream to make something of himself and to make a great nation. And it's told by a lot of people of colour, mainly on stage, who sing in these styles and who tell this story, and it's a very, very cool thing to be a part of.
Unbelievable. I saw you in 6, just as a side note, and thought you were fantastic in that. And when I saw it was you that were going to be playing Eliza, I thought you're going to absolutely smash it. So I did mention tickets are on sale from Ticketmaster. Take us back to a young Vidya. So where did you get the bug from? You said you weren't always into musical theatre. Were your parents in the biz? Where did you get the itch for the stage?
Not at all. My parents, for some reason, loved theatre. Like, they come from apartheid South Africa. There's no reason that they should love musical theatre, but they just do. But I was a piano player, cello player, and a soccer player growing up. So the spotlight was not really something that I was used to or that I was a part of. But we just saw shows, and I loved it so much. And when I was, I think, 15, I got cast in our school musical. We did My Fair Lady, and I played one of the flower girls, and my track was like, I'd take the flowers out of the basket, and then I'd put the flowers back in the basket, and then I'd take the flowers out of the basket again. That was my whole track, and I gave my everything to that little plot. But I caught the bug, and I just loved it so much. Like, the community that comes with doing theatre is something that I've never experienced anywhere else. And, yeah, ever since then, it was like goodbye soccer, I want to be on the stage.
I'm treading the boards. Take the studs off. I'm getting on the boards.
Yeah.
Vidya, now Hamilton is a fast pace. There's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of lyrics, and it's a lot of rapping. Is that in your wheelhouse, or is that something that you had to learn?
You're not wrong. I mean, I'm very lucky with Eliza that she doesn't really do any rapping because I would not employ me to do that. But it is a lot of words. It's something I'm very fortunate. I've been listening to this show for like 10 years, so I feel like I'm cheating a little bit in terms of my prep because I've known so much of it for such a long time now. But I think I'm going to be all right.
You have done some time on the stage. I always love talking to people who have done theatre about like some real awkward or horror moments that have happened on stage. I remember in my Year 9 production of Guys and Dolls, I was playing Rusty Charlie. One of the ensemble sat down in the Mission where all the gangsters were coming in to sit down, and we were sitting on the old school chairs that had almost like a fabric leather sort of cushion, and as he sat down, it made a...
No.
And try and contain 14 Year 9 boys in that scenario. Have you got something for us that is a story that you like wheeling out about something that's happened on stage?
Gosh, I'm a klutz, and I'm definitely the first one to trip over. And in 6, I definitely had a few funny moments where when we were at the Opera House, there's stairs to go down into the wings, and I took the note really seriously that we had to get off stage. I'm a pretty intense person, so I was like, we have to get off stage. That's been my note. But no, we didn't have to get off stage that fast that you then see this blue plank just sliding down the stairs. But then also trying to be a queen at the same time. But the recovery is very funny. I'm definitely a klutz.
Love
Thank
that.
you.
Well, you know what? We won't see any of that when we come along and see Hamilton at the Lyric Theatre. No, just nothing but professionalism, Dale. Nothing but professionalism.
Absolutely. But I'm a professional within my clumsiness as well.
Vidya, it's such a joy to chat to you. I cannot wait. I know I'll be there. I encourage everyone who even just contemplates, even if you haven't seen one bit of musical theatre, do a bit of a reading up on the history of Alexander Hamilton and then go along and see this show at the Lyric Theatre in Sydney, July 2024. That's next month. It kicks off. You can get your tickets on sale now from Ticketmaster because you will not be disappointed. It is an absolute ripper of a show.
The Gina and Maddie Podcast.
For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.